Hi. Emily, Cindy, are you here? Hi, Cindy. How are you?
I'm great, teacher. How about you?
Oh, sweetie, I cannot hear you very well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's better. How are you today?
I'm great. How about you?
What did you? I'm okay, sweetie. Thank you. It's a little bit hot here in the UK, so not really a big fan of it. But how was your week? What did you do this week?
Nothing much, but it's quite boring for me. And I'm finding something interesting for me to do. Like I'm starting to learn drawing anime
Okay. Why?
because it's quite boring for me. I'm staying at home every day.
Okay. Are you going to school?
Yeah, almost. I'm going on August.
In August.
In August.
Oh, so you have a holiday now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. And what kind of school you're going to attend from August? Are you changing your school?
No, I'm not changing.
No, so you're staying in the same school.
I'm going to university. This is my first year.
Ah, so you're going to university. Cindy, how old are you?
19.
19. Aha, okay. And what kind of university you gonna attend to?
I'm not sure what.
So what are you gonna study at university? Like what will be your major?
My major is marketing, business.
Marketing. Okay, good. Why did you choose marketing and business?
Because my mom recommended, and I think I'm quite interested in business, so I choose it.
Good job. That's a good choice. Very well, Cindy. Good job. Emily, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
A little bit boring.
A little bit.
Because,
Hold on. You mean a little bit bored? Because boring, you can say that you as a person you are bored. As you're boring. But if you say that you feel bored at the moment because you have nothing to do, that's a little bit different. So which one is it?
boring at school.
Aha, why?
Because lots of my teachers didn't come to school because of COVID. Then we need to revision in the class.
Oh no, okay. That's not nice. Okay. So what do you do when you're bored?
Revising.
Okay. How do you revise? What do you do?
Do the work teacher gave.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. How King, how are you? Sorry, what did you say?
Hi. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you now. So how are you today?
I'm a bit tired today because I have a lot of things to do. Then
Okay. What did you do today? Come on, sweetie, tell me a little bit more.
done a lot of stuff at school and maybe a lot of revision.
Okay. That's it? Hawking, that's it? Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you, sweetie. You can close your camera because you're lagging. So it will be better for you to, yes, you are lagging because it will be better for you to talk to me without a camera. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. When we did the test, let me just go through the text, not text, but tests again. Just 1 second. I can see that I don't have writing from Emily, Hawking. I have from Cindy though. So that means that Emily and Hawking needs to do the writing test today. However, I just need to double check the test. Oh, where did I place them now? I cannot see them. Let me see. Anyway, Yuling and Ezra will come, but they will be a little bit late. Chongshen will be absent today because she texted me yesterday. So that's fine. However, let me just see. Where did they go? I just had them over here. I closed them and now I cannot find them. Okay, I'm gonna go through it again. So Emily and Hawking will have to do the writing part today. Serena is coming. Okay, I think Serena, did she do it? Let me double check. No, she hasn't, so she has to do it as well. I don't know if June will come, but he also has to do the writing part. Okay. Hi, Serena.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm busy.
Busy? Busy with what? What did you do today?
Our school have many activities.
Okay. Are you having a
And
holiday soon?
no,
No holidays. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. I'm just going to give a couple of more minutes. Maybe someone else will join. However, I do have the writing part from Ezra and I have it from Yuling, but I don't have Serena, Emily, and Hawking. So guys, I'm going to send the link in the chat box. Cindy, this is not for you. This is just for the rest of them. I want you to open the link and do the writing, okay? Am I going to take you probably about an hour to do it? Roughly, I would say an hour. Try not to do it more than an hour, okay? So this is the writing part. You have to do it. Serena, Emily, and Hawking. Okay? Do we have a deal? Emily, Serena, and Hawking, can you hear me? Okay, all right. So I send you the link. Please finish the writing part within the link because I'm gonna need them because I need to write new reports about you. Okay, and now with Cindy, we're gonna do something else. Cindy, tell me, are you planning to do the exam in December? Are you planning to take the exam?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, good. Tell me which part do you think is maybe a little bit challenging for you?
I think most of it.
Most of it. Okay, but what is the most difficult part?
Speaking and writing.
Okay, writing, speaking and writing, okay. Why is it difficult writing? Which part of writing is difficult for you?
And lack of creative thinking, and I'm not confident on writing.
Okay. Okay, and which part of speaking is difficult for you?
It's just I'm lack of vocabulary.
The lack of vocabulary, okay. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm gonna share with you a photo because you know the first part of the examination will be describing a photo, okay? So let's do that first. Guys, if you don't want to listen to us, you can mute us, okay? So mute the sound from your computer. You're not going to listen to us. Okay, let's take a look. So first we're going to have some speaking part 1, where you're having like some questions and you're just going to have to follow them and answer them. So let's see how you're going to give me answer to some of the questions that we're going to have over here. Are you ready? Yeah, let's start.
Yes.
How old will you be when you retire in the future?
I suppose I'm going to retire at about 55 in the future.
55. That's a little bit young. Why 55?
I'm not sure about the law of the year of retire in our country.
Okay.
65, I think.
Most of the countries, yes, 62 and 65, yes. Okay, all right. Name some ways that you can reduce pollution in this country or your country. Reduce pollution.
Reduce pollution.
Yes, how can you reduce pollution?
Reduce water pollution. We could
What can you do? How you're gonna reduce pollution?
if it's air pollution, we could drive together with our friends, but not drive prospectively.
Okay.
To reduce the air pollution from the car exhaust.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Good.
So pollution, we need to punish the people who simply throw the rubbish into the water, in the
Okay.
river. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's see the next question. When was the last time you went shopping to buy clothes?
The last time I went shopping to buy clothes, I think it's about a few weeks ago. I went with my friends. I usually hang out with my friends to shop to buy clothes because my friend loves shopping and they like to buy clothes. We often shop together and she will choose something that suits me and I will buy it.
Okay, good. Good job. What are some types of, oh, not this one. No, we had that one. Not this one. Where are you planning on going on holiday next summer?
I didn't have a plan, but my cousin have invited me to go on holiday next summer to go Kuching,
Okay.
but it's with my cousin to visit some museum because my cousin museums.
Okay, are you looking forward to it? Are you excited?
Yeah, of course. I love it.
Okay, cool. Why the same question? Okay, not this one. Okay, are you keen on doing sport to stay healthy in your free time?
For me, is a no. I don't usually do sports in my free time. I don't really like sweating.
Why not? You don't like sweating?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a bit lazy, so.
Okay, good. So how do you stay healthy?
Eat less, I think, or eat more healthier.
Okay.
But also do some sports if I need.
All right, good. Let's see, next one. Not this one. Okay, not that one, but we're gonna go with describing pictures, describing the photo. So one of the tasks when you're going to do the exam will be to describe a photo. Before I give you a photo, it will be a random photo, so I didn't choose it. It will be from computer. Let's see a couple of tips. So within the introduction, you can say obviously a lot of things about a photo. You can be as descriptive as you want, so you can include a lot of details, saying about the people's age, about their clothes, about what are they doing, how are they feeling, according to their faces. You can also say if the picture has been taken inside or outside, how many people are there. So if I need to describe a picture, I will start as it is the picture, just like general picture first. And then I'm going to go slightly towards the inside just to include a lot of information. I think that should help a lot. But let me just go back. Oh, not this one. Where did I go? Sorry, sweetie, I went back. Oh, I lost it. Describe the photo. Here it is. So I'm going to show you a picture. You can have like a roughly about a minute. Think about what you want to say. Include as many things as you want to. Just be as descriptive as you can. The more information you include about the picture, the higher the marks will be. Usually when we describe a picture, we can go with present tense, either present simple or present continuous. You don't have to go with past tenses because most likely you will make a mistake. But generally, when you see a picture, you're describing it now. You're not actually being there present. So let's see. When you're ready,
I'm ready, teacher.
go on. Tell me what do you see? How can you describe us this picture?
In this picture, I can see one guy who's wearing a jacket and a trousers. And inside the jacket, he's wearing a collar shirt. And in the background, I can see there's a door open and he's sitting on the sofa. And I suppose he's not really busy working. I think he's just simply shooting some information on his computer, because I think based on his reaction, I think he's not kind of busy. He just needs some thing to do to relax himself. And perhaps the photographer is his friend. I'm not sure about why he is taking the photo of him, but I think it's just a playful friend. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Ezra. Hi, June. June, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so June, because you haven't done the writing part from the test. Would you be okay if you do it now? Emily, Serena, and Hawking are also doing it now.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So I'm sending you the link. This is not for Ezra and Cindy because they've done it. I'm just waiting for the rest of you so I can submit them. Okay, so you can do that, and Cindy and Ezra, they will do a little bit of speaking, especially with describing photos. Okay, so let's give a feedback now, Cindy. You did quite well. You did describe the picture. However, when you said that he was wearing a shirt, I forgot what word did you use, but you can say under under the jacket, he's wearing a shirt. But you used something else. Now I forgot because I saw that June and Ezra joined. So under the coat or under the jacket, he is wearing. He is wearing. Hi, Yuling. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. The next picture will be for Ezra. Ezra, tell me about this picture. Describe the picture as much as you can, with as many details as you can.
The photo seems to be black and white, and
Sweetie, I cannot hear you very well.
really?
Slightly better.
Okay. I see 3 kids, and in the background there seems to be a crowded place, and the kid seems to be wearing a cartoonish t-shirt. The kid in the middle seems to be wearing a cartoonish t-shirt, and he's looking at his left. And the kid below him seems to be looking at his right, and behind the girl seems to be a pole. Seems to be a pole.
Anything else about this picture?
And the kid in the middle, I think he's leaning on some kind of bench. And there's a kid on it.
Thank you. Okay, so let's see the next picture for Yuling.
I can see a man kneeling on the floor on a cupboard. He's drawing on the floor. I think he's drawing in the plaza. He's drawing Jesus, I think. He's wearing a jacket with jeans and a pair of sneakers. His hair is middle length. He colored a part of the picture.
Okay, good. So when we're describing a picture or describing a photo, however we like to call it, guys, you need to include as many informations as you can. Usually not informations, pardon, information as you can. Because when you're describing the picture, you should start with something a little bit general. For example, you can say if the picture has been taken inside or outside. How many people do you see? Is the picture black and white? Is the picture in color? How many people are there? What are they wearing? How do they feel? Maybe you can tell something about their age. Of course, if you can recognize, if you cannot, but try to give approximately. You can say, I'm not really sure how old are they, but maybe I would say, maybe, I don't know, 55 or something. So when describing a picture, remember you need to go with present tense. Present tense, I would go with present continuous. I can see a woman drawing a picture, a man drawing a picture. Doesn't matter what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. But don't go with past tenses because you haven't been there, you haven't seen when this picture was taken and so on. Now, because today will be a little bit not confusing class, but just because some of the, so 4 students are doing writing. Chongshan is absent. Evelyn, I don't know where is Evelyn. Serena, she's not coming anymore, so I don't know what's going on with her. And who else is missing? I can't really say at the moment. I need to double check my list. So for Ezra, Cindy, and Yuling, I will give you a writing task, but this is but this is not part of the test. Okay, so for the test, because June, Emily, Hawking, and Serena, they were absent when we did this, but I have your answers. So for you, I'm going to give you something else. So in the second half of the class, we will work towards the material. Okay. So let's start. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do the first part of the writing, which means, and then obviously at the end, I want to ask you a couple of questions, but of course I'm going to need everyone's cooperation on this. So this link will be for Cindy, Ewing, and Ezra. You're going to have to write an email. That will be the first part where you don't actually have a choice, if you remember. So in the first part, you have to write an email, but you do have 2 good examples. So I would like you to go through them. And then at the end, you have to write me your email according to the requirements over there. I will customize the link because I want to check out your writings as well. So we got PT, copy link. Okay, so I'm sending it to you, guys, girls. You can start doing this one because while the other ones are doing the test, the writing part of the test, so we can keep it quiet for each one of us. And then in the second half of the class, everyone will be free and we can have a little bit talk and a little bit about the exam. I want to ask you some questions, but for now, just let's do a little bit of writing today. If you need any questions or you need anything, ask me. I'm just going to mute myself, but I'm here. So guys, you're gonna have 7 more minutes to finish your writing part. And in the next 7 minutes, maybe maximum 10 minutes, please submit it. And after that, you can take a break. And once we're back, we will continue. Okay, guys, so it has been more than 40 minutes. Okay, Ewing has completed. Thank you. Let me just check the test. Okay, so I got June, Emily, Serena. We're just waiting for Hawking. Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you a short break, 5 to 7 minutes. Once we're back, we will continue. So please use your break now before we get back to the material from the book. And also we're going to speak a little bit about the exam. So see you in about 5-7 minutes. Okay, guys, let's get back. Hawking, Emily submitted, so I don't know why you cannot. I don't know why is that. Try it again, please. Okay, cool. Thank you for the writing, guys. Well done. Obviously, I'm going to have to read them during this week for the weekend. And then next week, I need to submit the reports for you. Those will be basically the second term, in other words, said. Now, let's talk a little bit about the exam. The examination will take place on, I don't remember the date, but I do remember the month. It will be in December and in November. Now, my question for you is, how many of you, let me just stop sharing so I can see you. How many of you are planning to take the exam? I want you to raise your hands, those of you who would take the exam in December. Okay, Ezra will. Yuling will. Emily, Cindy, June as well. Serena, how about you? Serena as well. Okay, cool. Cool, great. Okay. So my question for you now is, I was just looking, I had a note that someone doesn't want to take the test, but I have no idea where did it put it. Okay, I actually, oh, I think it's this one. 1 second. Oh, Evelyn. So Evelyn is not here and I wanted to speak with her a little bit, but okay. All right, perfect. I love that you're planning to take the exam because obviously this is good because it doesn't mean that, okay, so how does the point go? Let me just see, my book is here. Okay, so I think you also have this at the back of your book. You should have it where it says about the points. So your points are basically from 140 to 159, right? So if you do in that average, you're gonna pass the B1, which is your level or PET. Now, in case if you have lower, you're gonna go to the lower level. We don't want that, obviously, right? So my question for you now is, which part do you think is the most difficult for you? If I can judge by the points over here, I'm just going through the points. So reading. For some of you, listening is a little bit more difficult. For others, actually, the reading part is not that bad, and the listening part is not that bad. According to the fact that there were 25 points, I don't have anyone with 25, but I do have Yuling with 24, so she did quite well. Anyway, maybe the test was too difficult, too easy. It doesn't matter. Give me your opinion on which part you need to work on more, you don't feel comfortable with, and something that you need to work on more. As I'm going to make some notes and we're going to work towards that, okay? But I first want to see what is your opinion. So please just text me. You can text me. You don't have to say this if you feel uncomfortable in front of the other ones. Now I lost my pen. What is wrong with me today? Oh, it's here. So just text me which part you think is the most challenging. If you have two parts, that's fine. Say it to me, okay? So we will know what kind of activities we should include from now on, because obviously we're having, let me just double check how many classes we have more. Two next week, this month, and then in July, 4. So we're having 6 months, oh my goodness, 6 classes left. Okay, all right. I need each one of you guys to text me, okay? All right, I'm going to make some notes over here. Okay, some of you say writing, some of you say describing pictures, some of you say speaking. I'm just going to make some notes so I will know what we need to do a little bit more. Okay, Emily says this. Okay, Emily wants this. Okay, so I got from Emily, Ezra, Yuling. Okay, guys, how about the rest of you? Vanessa, June, Cindy mentioned before, but Cindy, you can remind me as well. Emily, where is Hawking?
Teacher, my laptop is a bit lag, so I'm using hers.
Okay, did you submit the task?
Yes, I've already submitted.
Okay, let me check. Yeah, got it. Thank you. Okay. June, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, can you tell me which part is the most difficult for you or challenging?
Well, for now would be the writing part
The writing,
and the listening part. Because
writing and
because-
listen.
Well, because sometimes I don't have any idea what to write. So it makes me to write randomly or more freely.
Okay. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And I got also from Cindy. Okay. Okay, no one didn't say reading. Well, reading goes with comprehension, right? Reading goes with comprehension in the grammar part, but okay, no one didn't say that. But yes, if I judge by the results that you achieved previously, I would say yes, reading should be fine for most of you. When it comes to the listening, oh, okay, 25 was the maximum. I have someone with 13 and 17. Okay. Serena, how about you? Which part is the most difficult part for you?
May I ask how much for the points for speaking and writing?
Sorry, June, I couldn't understand that.
How much points were for writing and speaking?
How many points? Okay, let me double check. Serena says, okay, most of you guys say writing. Writing and basically speaking, and apart from June, he said listening as well. Okay. The points are separated into 4 parts. For example, you have 25% from the listening, 25% from the reading, 25% from the speaking, and 25% from the writing part. So as I said previously, within some of the skills, you're going to feel a little bit easier, right? I personally think, guys, that the speaking part should be the easiest for you if you want to, though. But most of you feel a little bit uncomfortable and unconfident. You don't really want to talk. So, okay, let's go like this. Let's start with the speaking part. The first part of the speaking test will be just basic questions about you. So you already know that because I've mentioned that so many times. They will ask you some basic questions like, how old are you? Where are you from? Do you study? Do you work? And so on. Now, the second part is describing the pictures. So, because some of you said speaking, let me just find where did I put, I think this is it. Yeah, let me just open it over here. And let's just give a couple of tips, a couple of advice over here. Okay, let me just share it. Okay, so the first type, not the first type, the first part will be, let me just see. Okay, so the first part will be just to introduce yourself, okay? Now, remember, never give short answers. Short-term answers doesn't mean they could be correct, right? You're not saying anything that is not true. However, it's not going to lift your marks. So we want to avoid that. We want to extend our answers and we want to give longer answers. Now, with the second part, most likely you will get questions related to these topics. Okay, so something for clothes, daily life, education, entertainment, people, language, and so on. I have some examples over here, as you know. I have some examples over here, but they're just like minimum. So let's do a little bit of speaking over here. However, I'm going to choose Cindy and Yuling. Cindy and Yuling. So Yuling, I want you to start first. You're having these topics. You choose whatever you want to. ask question to Cindy and Cindy needs to reply to you, and then the other way around. But don't make the question super simple, like, what do you do in your free time? That's okay, but it's not an interesting question. So let's see how you're going to ask questions. You can ask anything you want related to these topics over here.
Hi, Cindy. Do you usually listen to music?
Cindy?
Hi, Yuning. Yes, I often listen to music. I love music a lot. And I seldom hear music when I'm in the bad mood. What about you?
Okay, good.
I also like to listen to music, but I don't listen to music frequently right now because I'm a bit busy with school. What type of music do you like to listen?
I love to listen to silence music. Based on my mood.
Pardon? What kind of music?
Silent music.
What kind of music is that?
Like something is just music, but nobody sing that.
Aha, you mean instrumental music?
Instrumental, yeah.
Instrumental music, because if it's silent, then it's not a music. Okay, instrumental music. Okay. Something else? Cindy, ask her a question from a different topic.
What type of books do you read? Do you read novel?
Okay.
I rarely read books. But my favorite genre is romance and fantasy novels.
Okay.
How about you? What type of genre do you like to read?
Pardon, can you repeat again? What type of what?
What type of novels do you like to read?
I also don't really read novels, but I have borrowed novels from my cousins. It's about something inspector or something else. I found it is quite interesting.
Okay. Okay. So what I like over here is that you are following my advice and you're giving the reasons why. So remember, the longer the answer is, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be everything perfect, right? However, one thing you need to focus on, if the questions are super simple in terms of the grammar tense, let's say if the question has been asked, what type of books do you like to read? So this question on its own, it's present simple tense. There is no need for you to use other grammar tense. If the question is in present tense, you answer in present tense. If the question is, for example, did you read a book yesterday? Okay, now we're having past tense and you can say, no, I didn't read a book yesterday. I was too busy with my homework, for example. So you need to follow the question. You need to focus on the question, okay? If the question is asked in present, you go in present. If the question is asked in present continuous, for example, what are you doing now? Could be a question, why not? Now, if you say something like, I have an English test or an English class, it's not really correct because the question was in present continuous. So be very careful with that. Follow the question first. Listen to the question. If you didn't understand the question, you can say, Can you repeat it for me, please? I didn't get it. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is always justify your answer. Always give a reason. For example, did you read the book yesterday? No, I didn't, because I was too busy with my homework. Okay, even though they're not asking you, but the chance that they will ask you why yes and why no is 100%. And we want to avoid that because we want to sound that as we're comfortable and confident with the question. So if you have a question, what are you going to do for the weekend? Going to do for the weekend, which means now you're having future plans, and you can say, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for the weekend because I still haven't made any plans. But maybe if the weather is nice, I will go out. But if it's not, probably I will stay at home and watch a movie. Okay, doesn't matter what you're going to say. Nobody actually cares what you're going to say, but they do care the way you're building the sentence. Super important. Again, you're level B1, so you're not lower level, you're kind of medium. So that means now we want to push the vocabulary. So don't confuse yourself with the grammar tense. Follow the question. If the question is in present, you answer in present. If the question is in past tense, you answer in past tense. And you'll be good to go. Okay? Now, sometimes if you don't really know how to answer the question, you can use half of the question to give half of the answer. For example, let's say, what do we choose? Are there any famous tourist places in your city? You have no idea, and you're going to say, famous tourist places in my city. What are you doing? You're paraphrasing it. Basically, you're not paraphrasing it. You're using the same words, but you're trying to build up your sentence. So you're saying, famous, popular tourist. I already forgot what was the question. You see, I acted, but I forgot it. So you can say, interesting question. Buy yourself some time. You can say, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think there are a lot of places that foreigners can come and visit in my city. However, if I need to choose one, I would say this and this and this. You are allowed to personalize the questions a little bit, even though the question is a little bit generalized. Are there any popular spots that tourists can come in your city? Yes, of course there are. Every city has some popular places that tourists would like to visit. However, if I need to choose, I would choose the London Eye, for example. Doesn't matter really what you're going to say. So make sure you're extending your answer. Don't keep it short. Remember, always justify your answer. Always give reasons why. Don't expect the examiner to ask you, why? Why yes? Why no? We want to avoid that, okay? That's the first thing. Okay, we're going to practice with the questions, obviously, from now on, pretty much every single day, every single class. We're having 6, as I said. Let's take a look at the next one. You're saying, some of you said that describing pictures is a little bit challenging. This is the model or the template you can use to describe a picture. Now over here, you have this file because I sent it to you, but you can use this model over here. Doesn't mean that this is the only way. No, absolutely not. But it does give you a little bit of more guidance how you can build up your good description of a picture. So the description should be about 1 minute to 2 minutes, roughly. That means that you need to speak all the time. It doesn't mean, let's say, if I'm changing the picture, if let's say I have this one and I say, I can see a man, awkward pause. He is at the doctor, awkward pause. We don't want that, okay? So you can have like 20, 30 seconds to think about this picture, okay? So you're thinking about this picture and just getting some ideas, think about some words, some verbs you can use. And remember, guys, using adjectives is very powerful, adverbs and adjectives, but let's focus on adjectives. So you can describe this picture with as many details as you want. First of all, you're going to say, I can see this picture has been taken inside, or I can see 2 people. So we're going to go with present tense. You don't have to use other grammar tenses. Keep it present tense or present continuous. Depends on how you would like to build a sentence. So I can see 2 people. I think this looks like a hospital to me because I can see it's inside and there is a white bed behind it. So I think that's a bed for patients. I can see a doctor. She's having a conversation with a patient. She's being very nice and friendly because she's smiling, and the man is explaining something to her. Probably he is telling her about his previous week, if he had any issues with his health. Doesn't really matter what you're going to say. Okay, you can say the woman is probably a doctor because she's wearing a white coat, and I think the weather is spring or summer because the man is wearing short sleeves. So I'm thinking the weather must be warm or hot outside. However, avoid that awkward pause in between. I can see a man. Maybe he's 40 years old. He's wearing blue t-shirt. We want to avoid that. You can say all of that, but a little bit faster and a little bit well combined, in other words. So I can see a man, I think he's about 40 years old. He's wearing a blue t-shirt. He's having a friendly chat with his doctor, I believe. He's explaining to her probably about his condition in the previous week. The woman, I believe she's a doctor because she's wearing a white coat. She's super friendly and smiling, and she's taking some notes that the patient is giving to her. I think this picture has been taken inside because I can see that it's in a closed place, and there's some trees at the background. There's also a white bed at the background of the picture. That's what shows me that this is a hospital. Now, if I were in this situation, I wouldn't be feeling as comfortable as this man because I don't like hospitals. You're done. You said everything that it's possible to say. That's it. And you're going to get the maximum points. So be precise, but be a little bit faster rather than keeping that awkward pauses in between. Okay? Because yes, it's fine for you to think about what you're going to say about the picture. But if you just keep making pauses, that means that, you're having problems with figuring out which vocabulary you're going to use. Sometimes that could be the case. I'm not saying no. But start with something general, okay? If you don't really know specific details from the picture, don't even mention them. Or if you really want to mention them, you're going to say it's a thing. Let's say you don't know what is it. Let's say it's a pen. It's a thing that you use if you want to write something. Maybe you cannot figure out, like your brain doesn't want to cooperate with you, doesn't want to tell you that this is a pen or a pencil. So you can use that. Basically, you can improvise to do so. As I said, this over here will help you a lot. Now, over here, of course, there are some good phrases and sentences you can use in the top left corner, in the left corner, in the bottom, and so on. But this is generally a unique template that you can use to describe a picture. I think it's super easy. Of course, you can build it up even more because roughly the speaking part should take like a minute, roughly minute to minute and a half, maybe two, if you're just being very descriptive. This is what you need to do when it comes to this task. We're going to come back to this because I want to go to the last part. So I believe this part will be a little bit, what's not difficult, but it's a little bit demanding. Now, why is that? So let's see some of the questions. I do have some examples over here, already. So the question was, Tom and Maria are going on a holiday next week. Are going. So what's the grammar tense? Future. Okay. So now you need to use present or future. So they need to go and they need to spend 3 days in London. What should they do? And then you start. So the easiest way to go is count the pictures clockwise. So start with the castle and then go to the gallery and so on. So you wouldn't actually lose a track of it. It's much easier. Okay. So you wouldn't repeat yourself. And you can easily organize your thoughts. As we say over here, I think they should go and visit a castle. London has a big history, not a big history. That's a mistake. London has big history, so it will be fun to see all those historical places. There's so many castles around this area. Okay. Now remember, you basically at the end, you need to agree only with one thing that they should do and they should visit. So student B says, yes, I think it's a good idea, but it could be boring. I don't like castles or history at all. How about they go for horse riding? I think that could be fun. I always wanted to ride a horse. I never did. So I'm going to say, I'm glad that Tom and Maria can have this opportunity. Okay. So you have to, you are allowed to personalize it when you're giving the answer. You can personalize it. You don't have to, but it will sound much stronger. So you need to follow the grammar tense, give a little bit more information, make sure that, let's say if you don't understand the picture, let's say you don't know the top one, the fifth picture, you don't know what is that, and you can say, I'm actually afraid of water, so I don't think, or you can say, I think Tom is afraid of water, so maybe he shouldn't go near the lake or near the river or on a boat because he's a weak swimmer. So I don't think that he needs a little bit of stressful situation while he's in London. So maybe he should avoid and he should just have a nice time and just go sightseeing, like beautiful places like castles, to see castles and art galleries. Yeah, I agree with you. And that's it. You're done. Okay. So I know this part will be a little bit challenging because as some of you say, well, I cannot figure out, like I don't have enough time to think about the ideas and the words that I want to use. It comes with speaking. That's the thing. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Now, another thing, don't rush your answer. Don't say it too fast. However, don't say it too slow as well. Neither are okay. You have to keep the speed. As I'm speaking now with you, this is the perfect pace, right? Because you can understand me, I can understand you, and so on. But if you're going way too fast, most likely you will end up making mistakes, because sometimes when you're speaking too fast and you have all of these ideas that you want to say about this picture and so on, oftentimes you're going to make a mistake. We don't want that. As I said, this type of exercises or this type of communication eventually will improve, but it will only improve if you speak more. If you don't speak, it's not going to improve. I'm just being honest with you. So I know some of you are very shy. I know that. I'm aware of it. But remember, the next 6 classes, I don't want to see anyone shy. I don't care if you're shy. You're going to forget about it because we've been here for a year now. You shouldn't feel shy, not in front of me, because I'm here to help you. But also, you need to believe in yourself. That's very important. If you don't believe in yourself, most likely you will do nothing. If you believe, but don't over-believe, okay? Don't overdo it. Don't be overconfident. Be confident, but not overconfident. What does that mean? Yes, sometimes, okay, am I gonna know certain words? That's fine. I'm gonna find a way how to go beyond that. I'm gonna find a way. I'm not really sure how we call this. Do you know? I'm gonna ask my friend, do you know? Oh yeah, that was right. Oh, sorry, I forgot the word. Yeah, that's not really my thing. I don't really want to go there. Perfect. Even though you didn't know the word, you came out from this situation as a winner because you managed how to complete the conversation. Okay? Super important. This is super, super important. What I'm thinking to do is, maybe I can do 2 examples for the weekend, and maybe I can write them down and record them at the same time. Let me just write it down. Write and record 2 examples. And probably I will send them to you in the WhatsApp group. So when you have the time, just listen to it and practice in your own time. I believe you have the file, right? I think you have it because I sent it to you. Yes. So you can practice this. Now, sometimes you're going to say, well, it's funny, I have no one to practice with. But guys, you know each other. If you, I mean, maybe you haven't exchanged numbers or anything like that, but feel free to do so. As of next week, each class, I will put about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. If you have a speaking partner that you feel comfortable with, that's fine. One last thing that I wanted to say about this. When you're going to do the test, let's say everyone, let's say imagine all the group wants to do the test in December. That means all of you will be in the same day. That's a relief. You know each other. So most likely your speaking partner will be one of this group. You have to feel comfortable with each one of you. Now, let's say some of you doesn't want to have the exam now. In that case, that's a little bit different. However, because most of you raised hand. That means that you're going to have the exam. That means you're going to do the writing part together, the listening part together, the speaking part together. One of the students over here will be your partner. So why don't you use that and just feel a little bit more confident. So if you're having a speaking partner on your mind, someone that you think I would like to practice with this one, that's fine by me. I don't mind that as long as you feel comfortable with that. But bear in mind, I will change you because I want you to feel comfortable with any unfamiliar person that you know. Other approach that I like to use it is I never think that someone else will laugh at me if I do something wrong. I don't think about that. Or when I go to take an exam, I just go and take the exam. I don't think about failing the exam. Okay, so you need to change your mind a little bit and just, some of you will say, well, I'm a bit scared, I'm a bit shy. No, stop saying that. That's not going to help you. You just say, I'm good. I've been having classes for a year now. At least I improved. Okay, each one of you improved. The progress depends on you as well. Okay, doesn't really depend on me. Yes, I invested my skills over here. I created a file for you, so that's good. I was doing that in order to help you. However, you need to help yourself as well. Okay, so you're not going to go with a mind of, yeah, I'm going to fail, I feel shy, I don't know what I'm going to do. No, that's a very bad approach. If you're having that in your head, don't even do the exam. Change it. So you can start saying to yourself, yeah, I've been having classes for a year. Like, can you imagine last year, my English was a little bit lower. Now I'm making a progress. Doesn't matter. Every single small progress is still a progress. Okay. And of course, we want to polish everything, because the sooner we polish the things, the good things, to make them accentuate so we can see them better, the easier it becomes for you to continue to the next level, and so on. If you're having good grammar, the grammar is polished, everything is good. All you have to do is just build up your vocabulary. How you do that? By speaking, by reading maybe books. Maybe I'm going to take 50 words, I'm going to write them down this week, and I'm going to try to improvise and speak with them. You can do that. There are a lot of psychological tricks to help you. Those of you who are a little bit shy, you can speak in front of the mirror. I have done that. I have done that so many times. Let's say if I have something like an interview or something like that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit in front of the mirror, I'm going to look at myself, and I'm going to speak to myself. I'm going to be the person who is asking the questions, and I'm going to be the person who is answering the questions. Okay? So first thing first, believe in yourself. That is the most important thing. So what are we going to do? I'm going to write 2 examples. I'm going to choose some random pictures. I'm going to write them down as a conversation, like as a dialogue between 2 people. And then I'm going to record them during the weekend. Probably will be that on Sunday. I will send them to you. It doesn't mean that's the only way, guys. That's not the only way. There are different ways as well. You find what is comfortable for you. I will just give you like a guidance, and you can just follow that to copy me. I will make an example with some pictures as well. Okay. And I will also make some examples for answering the questions. However, the rest of it, you need to practice as well, because don't expect coming here for 2 hours a week and you're going to make the biggest progress and the biggest success. Not really. Okay. Because this is a learning this is not studying. This is learning. It's a long-term process. You're going to learn so many things. Every single day, you're going to learn something new. Of course, if you are open to it, if you're not, nothing's going to change. Okay. That's enough chit chat from me. Some of you said that writing is also a problem. Now, I'm actually going to give you homework, will be writing. Where did I put the page? Okay, so today we actually are supposed to speak about articles. We're going to go through the articles very quickly because you're going to see it's actually so easy to write an article. So easy. We haven't done this, right? I hope we haven't. Let me just change my screen. As far as I know, according to my notes, we haven't done this. Okay, so talking about articles, you know, the first part of the writing will be the email. Now, the email most likely is present tense. So if we're practicing present tense, you're not going to make a mistake. Let's take a look at the article. I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, so article will be optional for you. Either you're gonna write a story or an article, it's pretty much up to you. When we're writing a story, the story must be in past tense. Let's take a look at the article. Where do you and your friends go shopping nowadays? Do you prefer going to indoor shopping centers or to town centers? Or perhaps you'd rather do all your shopping online? Tell us what you think. My first question for you is, which grammar tense do we have here? What's the grammar tense? Which grammar tense we have? Present. Thank you, Emily. So we're having present tense over here. Therefore, if we're using present tense in the questions, in my answer, my article must be written in present tense. Now that's easy, okay? That is easy. So if I'm having these questions over here, let's take a look at actually the second one. We're looking for new writers for our magazine. A good meal. What makes a good meal? Is it the place, the people, the food, or all these things? How important is to eat out and try different kinds of food from different countries? Tell us what you think. So how about this email, this article, sorry, this requirement? Which grammar tense we have? Present, okay. So that shouldn't be a big problem, right? I think it shouldn't be because it's present tense. However, let me share something with you. First, need to put the file here. 1 second, guys. Okay. I'll share my screen. Let me just see, where is this? About the articles, I want to show you something. Review report. Oh, I can't find it now. This is ridiculous. No, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I wanted to show you something, but I cannot find it at the moment, so I'm not going to keep you with that. Okay, so when we write an article, what do you think is important for us to do over here? Are we writing our own opinion, or do we need to do a research? Do we need to do a research before writing an article?
It depends on the topic.
Okay. Have you ever done an article?
Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay, good. So when you're writing an article, you can have some information, you can do some research. Okay, it's not a big deal, you can, but you don't really have to, because article is more like something that you feel connected with. Let's look at some of the examples over here. I know we've done previously, but it's just a refreshment. Adjectives, as I said, are very, very important. So if I were you, I would choose, this is what I normally, when I need to write something. I had an exam 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I had an exam and I needed to write something. Obviously, it was in English because it was an English test. So what I like to do and what works for me is I am finding a couple of good adjectives, a couple of good nouns, and a couple of good verbs. And I just write them on a piece of paper. I think I told you this before. So let's say I'm going to choose, maybe the verbs and the nouns are not going to be so demanding because it depends on the topic. However, with the adjectives, I think you can implement them. You can put the adjectives pretty much everywhere. So my advice would be, choose a couple of good adjectives on the side, have them on a piece of paper, like now, in the next day or so. And every time when you write something, make sure you're using that list of adjectives in your writing. Next to the adjectives, I would also include some adverbs. This is what I do, as I said. This works for me perfectly. Because sometimes, yes, of course, maybe if I have a list of 10 good adjectives, not necessarily I'm going to use all of them, okay? They might not going to fit. That's fine. At least I can use 3 or 4. So we're going to do that also next week. We're going to choose some good vocabulary, like good verbs and good nouns. As I said, nouns and verbs, you cannot really play with them because it depends on the topic you're going to write. However, adverbs and adjectives, you can place them everywhere. They will bring your points up. They will. So that's why we're going to use them. Another thing you need to use, very important, are linking words. So what I'm planning to do, actually, I'm going to write like a guidance with words. Guidance with words that you must include in your writing part, which means linking words, adjectives, then when you're expressing your opinion, especially with the article, I think, I believe, I would say, and so on. There's so many things you can say, okay? So they are very important for us. Another thing that I want you to focus on when doing writing, doesn't matter what kind of writing, but because we're talking about article, make sure you're having extended sentences. For example, if you're saying, my name is Natasha, well, you're not saying that, I'm saying that. My name is Natasha, full stop. I'm 36 years old. That's okay. It's not interesting. Now, what we want to do, we want to take these 2 simple sentences, match them together, link them, put something in between, and make a longer sentence. So I'm going to say, my name is Natasha, and I am 36 years old. It didn't change the meaning, right? But it changed the sentence structure. Now I'm having a little bit complex sentence. It's not very complex, obviously, but it's a little bit longer as well. This is the thing when I say, when you're writing something, give the reason. When you're saying something, justify the reason, okay? You can use this in the writing part. If, let's say, the articles wanted over here starts with, what's your favorite city? What's so special about this city? What city would you love to travel in the future? Tell us what you think. So bear in mind, you have 3 questions. Now, if you have 3 questions, ideally, I would say go with 3 paragraphs. You can see over here. So this girl says, or person, doesn't matter. My favorite city is Paris because it is so lively and interesting. It is also full of surprises. Okay, so they're using adjectives, lively and interesting. But did they answer the first question? Yes, they did. The introduction or the opening should be about 2 to 3 sentences, nothing more than that. Because if you spend too many words in the introduction, what are you going to put in the main part? And main part is actually the base where you need to include a lot of information and a lot of details. So the second question says, what's so special about this city? Now, if you start the question, if you start answering the question, the special thing about this city, it's okay, but it actually means that you're replying the question. Now, yes, in other words, you are replying the question. Make it a little bit subtle, okay? What does that mean? Don't answer the questions like, there is a question over here and I'm going to answer it. Make it a little bit more friendly. So she starts saying, Paris is a city of variety. It has many beautiful old buildings, but it also feels modern. Okay, so they're comparing it. They're saying one thing positive, one thing negative. This is something that you have to use, you have to write if you want to make a success with your writing. And this is not just writing about your exam, guys. You're going to need this further on in the future, like depends what you're going to study. But anyway, you're going to study English, so probably you will have to write something. Maybe it will be an essay. That's a little bit even more challenging. So 3 questions, 3 paragraphs to give your answers. Let's take a look at the last one. What city would you love to travel to in the future? I would love to travel to New York in the future because I've seen the city in so many films and I would love to visit it in real life. I would say this is okay. Personally, I wouldn't start like this. What city would you love to travel in the future? I would really love to continue traveling in the future to see as many places as I can. However, one of the most interesting or intriguing places that I would like to visit is probably Paris. The sentence sounds much, much stronger than this one over here. It's the same one, okay? So you have to, as I said, the more you speak, the easier it becomes. The more you write, the easier it becomes. I don't know about you, I'm a person that every time when I learn something, once I write it down on a piece of paper, I know I have it. If I just keep repeating it, I just forget it. I don't know why is that, it's just, this is how my brain works. So when I write something and I see the mistake, I cross it one time, the next time I don't do that mistake, because visually in my brain comes that picture, what I've done, what I've corrected, like my errors, my mistakes, and then it comes a little bit easier. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So for your homework, let me just go back to the book. I think it was, what page was it? I forgot it already. 7, 8, no. Okay, so you can follow the examples from the book to write an article, the one that you have on page 148. You don't really have to, but if it gives you a guidance, yes, absolutely, that's fine, you can do that. However, I'm going to give you a link for your homework. Let me just change it. So your homework will be this one. Films. What kind of films do you enjoy? Do you prefer watching them at the cinema or at home? And why? You have to justify the reasons. Write an article answering these questions and we will put it in our website. Now, the funny part over here is you have 2 questions. So how many paragraphs are you going to have now? I would go with 3 again. With the first part, I'm giving an introduction or an opening sentence, what kind of films I like to see, right? Then in the middle part, remember the opening line should be like 2 to 3 sentences, nothing more. In the middle part, I'm going to include a little bit more specific information, okay? Do you prefer watching them at the cinema or at home, and why? I prefer to watch them at home because I can lie on my bed and probably I can have a lot of junk food around me and just enjoy the TV. And maybe if someone calls me, I can just stop the movie and I can have a conversation, or I'm going to go to the toilet, whatever I want, and I'm not going to miss anything. Nobody cares what you're going to say. But we do care how you're going to build up the sentence, okay? Now, for the third paragraph, you can include the information like, for example, maybe you can personalize it. You can say something about maybe a movie that you watched yesterday or last week, or what type of movie would you like to watch in the future? Let's say this Top Gun, for example. Maybe you haven't seen it, that just came out with Tom Cruise. So you can say in the future, I would really love to go to the cinema, or maybe you're having special type of cinema that you have on your mind you want to visit. 3D, 4D, I don't know how they call them anymore. I have no idea. I'm not really a cinema type of person. So you can say, I would really love to watch maybe Top Gun in that and that cinema because I think the sound will be brilliant and stuff like that. You can include as many informations as you want. So your homework will be to talk about films, to write about 100 words. Pay attention, the grammar is present tense. Unless you want to personalize it and say something about the movie that you watched last week or yesterday, doesn't matter, then probably you're going to have to add up a sentence with past simple. Okay, that's one thing that I wanted to say. I'm going to customize the link for you. However, another thing that I want to say to you is, let me just hit homework. This is 14th of July. Okay, so copying the link. I'm going to send it here in the chat box and in WhatsApp as well. Okay, so I wouldn't forget. I have to do it right away because I'm going to forget. So, latest homework. Okay, so That's what I want you to do for your homework. Another thing that I want to say is, guys, we're completing unit 9 and 10. If you have the time, I'm not saying this is a must. Of course, I would love you to do this, to do the revision of unit 9 and 10, so we can check them next week. That will be perfect. Also, because we're having 2 more units up until the end of August, so we can finish the course. But I would like us to go through the grammar points of each unit. So next week, obviously, we will talk about unit 11. But as I said, if you have the time, I know some of you have exams, some of you have different things you need to do. Some of you said you don't go to school, so you can use this as well. You wouldn't be bored. Go through the book and see what is difficult in terms of grammar for you, okay? Because if you remember, we had perfect tense, right? We had perfect tense within your book. Now, if you use the perfect tense in your writing, you're going to get higher points. If you're using just the very simple tenses, could be correct, but you're not actually going to satisfy the needs of the grammar points. That's another trick you need to pay attention to. However, if you're having a very strong vocabulary, maybe the grammar will be a little bit covered. So, you know, so it will be a little bit like camouflage, so no one will actually notice as much. But bear in mind that vocabulary is the very essential thing for you. I've been speaking for 30 minutes now. I'm sorry about this, but there's just a couple of things that I wanted to emphasize for you. And just, as I said, because we're about to finish in 6 weeks, I want you to, if you have the time, and I hope you have the time, go through the book and see which part you don't understand. The book is quite big on its own. And, you know, we've only seen each other like once a week. Some of you didn't even come every week. So that was a little bit of an issue maybe for you. Go through it and let's do this, okay? Because I want each one of you to pass this level with the highest amount of points. But that doesn't depend only on me. That also depends on you. Anyway, do you have any questions? No questions? No? Okay. So in case if you have questions, you can always text me. Let's say if you want to practice something and you want me to check it up, feel free to text me, okay? So you can send me anything you want. I will check it. Am I not going to be able to reply to you right away because we're having different time zones? But I will definitely reply to you, okay? So if there is something that you really struggle, you don't know how to write this, try it, send it to me, and I will correct it for you and tell you what you need to focus a little bit more on, okay? All right, good. So thank you very much for coming today. It was a pleasure seeing you. I'm going to see you next week. Please do the article, and then we're going to take it from there and see how we're doing with the articles, okay? All right, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.